Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel or the podcast, however you're listening to it. Today's episode, we are going to talk about the Game 4 of the NBA Finals. I finally had a moment to sit down and talk about it. I just wanted to give you a couple takeaways, winners and losers, and don't worry, I will talk about the first quarter officiating because it frustrated me. Before I get into it, leave comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on the YouTube channel. If you are listening to the podcast, we are going to break down games 1 through 3 after I get done with my little rant about the Game 4. And then we also do NBA exit interviews for the Bulls, the Hornets, and the Pelicans. So check that out after this. However, let's talk about Game 4. It was wild. It was crazy. I could not believe what I was watching. It was the greatest comeback rate in NBA Finals history, I believe. That's what they mentioned. They were down 29 points, including 27, I believe, at halftime. And it just seemed like in the first quarter, the game was over. And I wasn't the only one that thought that. Like, my younger brother who has been watching the finals. He was like, I fell asleep at halftime, before halftime. And it's like, well, I kind of don't blame you because it was that type of game. And what you saw in the first half was that the Spurs could not miss. They were 14 of 26. They had the Knicks on their heels the entire first half of the game. And it was really in the first quarter that they did the majority of their damage. They had a 19-point lead. If you look at the second quarter, they only outscored the Knicks by 8, but that added to the up to 27 points lead. And they only had 2 turnovers in the first half. And it really looked like the Spurs were going to control that game and find a way to win. It looked like the Knicks were in their head at times and making mistakes, and I think the Spurs were also causing them to make mistakes, both those things. At halftime, I feel like the Knicks came out and they're like, we're going to lose the game anyway, so let's go down swinging. Even if we fall out, even so you could see their defensive intensity ramped up. They were better on offense. They limit the Spurs to 30 points in the second half after forfeiting 76 in the first half. So the game flow was really like, hey, the Spurs went out, just balls to the wall, and then the Knicks came out in the second half and did the same thing, and then this is what we got for the finish. Victor had an okay game, right? He had a good game, I should say, 24 and 13 with 3 blocks. I thought the Knicks did a really smart thing that whenever there was a lob, they would foul him before he touches the ball, and that way there he got a foul call, but it didn't lead to free throws. I thought that was pretty smart. They did that at least 3 times. They might have done it more. And De'Aaron Fox, the other big name Spur, which we'll talk about a little bit when we get to winners and losers, had 18. He was 6 for 16 and 7 assists with 4 turnovers. So that wasn't great. On the other side, Brunson, he had his best game. He was 12 of 25. He had, 36 points, and he made a bunch of big shots over, well, not a bunch, that big 3 over Wembanyama, which was huge and I think put the Knicks down 1. This is why you should always record the day after because I'm trying to remember everything. Let's see here. Anunoby. Anunoby's been the most consistent and reliable Knick. His 3-point shooting in this series has been amazing. In this game, it was 2. He hit a couple along with the game-winning shot, which was not, I shouldn't say shot, it was a tip-in. Bridges was a non-factor, basically, and then there was Karl-Anthony Towns, who was in foul trouble the entire game, which, again, we'll talk about, but he had that late step-back 3 over, I think, Keldon Johnson, and that was a huge 3 for them as well. And it was funny watching the game because it was kind of a slow burn. You knew the Knicks would make a run. You just wondered how credible that run would be. So it started off like 20 points to 18, back to 22 to 20, 18, 17, then they get to 15, and then it was like 15, 17, 15, 13, 15, 12. You know what I'm saying? And then it got to 7 points, and that was the next hurdle the Knicks had to get over, and they eventually did, and then it led to a bunch of chaos, which we'll get to. So that's sort of like the game throw, quick thoughts, couple box score stats. And by the way, Castle was in foul trouble as well, and I think that's why Brunson got comfortable because Castle covers Brunson the best. Let's go to winners and losers real quick. I'm going to start with winners. Brunson, again, great game. Had that three over Wembanyama. And even the last shot, I didn't think was like the best shot. But when we're talking about like finals MVP, no matter how well OG plays, no matter how well Cat plays, the gravity that Brunson has because the defenders just gravitate towards him is something that cannot be mimicked or understated. So just because his stats are not as great, the attention that he demands is crazy. And that last play shows it. He got doubled shooting a ball, 35 feet from the basket? And if he would have been 33 feet from the basket, who would have hit it? Like he only needed to take one step in and he probably would have hit that shot. If it was maybe 30 feet, I don't remember, but it was far. And because two Spurs were covering him, including Victor Wembanyama, it led to the offensive rebound. And I think this is why Brunson shot the ball so early, was giving his team a chance for the offensive rebound. Having the best rebounder in Victor Wembanyama away from the basket meant that if Brunson missed, he knew his team, whether it was Cat or in this case Anunoby, would have a shot for an offensive rebound and put back, and that's what happened. So I actually didn't totally mind the shot. I thought it was a little quick, a little far, but it was fine. Another winner, Josh Hart. Oh man, blown layup, dunk. I don't know if like maybe he was tired and he didn't know whether the layup or dunk it, and he didn't know whether the guy behind him was going to try for a block, and he kind of got it in his head a little bit. And I think he just had a brain fart. On top of that brain fart, he had the brain fart of not boxing out. That was a little rough as well. But because the Knicks won, nobody will think about that. That could have been career defining. OG Anunoby, clear winner, gets the tip in. I think Castle is a winner. Stefan Castle, like you are that important to this team that if you cannot play because you're in foul trouble, Brunson is going to go off. MSG, you get a playoff win in the finals at home, and you witness the great historical comeback as Knicks fans. But if you're in MSG, that's great. And then Alvarado was the other winner. He had a couple big shots at the end of the game that he hit. There was a scoop that he hit, and then a three. And what I thought Mike Brown did, and maybe he's a winner too, where he brought in Alvarado and was like, Bridges, it's not his game. We're going to let Alvarado play. And what happened was, whenever Alvarado set the screen, they would double Brunson, be like, go for it, Alvarado. And because he's a natural point guard, right? Like he gets the ball and he makes a quick decision. And he puts the defense on their heels. And so there was even that one play, I think it was him who passed it to Anunoby in the corner and he hit a three. So it's just like when you put another point guard or a guy who can make quick decisions with the basketball, and he's the guy that's being doubled off of, it makes your offense go, 4-on-3. And if you do it right, you're going to get an open look, and that's what happened. So he's a winner. Losers, De'Aaron Fox. I don't know what he was thinking that last play. There's a play, like there's things that go around on social media. I think it was black, but there's some people who said, no, he got fouled. And there's a picture of him getting his arm hit. I just wonder if like he hit the ball and then hit his arm, then it's not a foul. But here's the thing, whether or not it was a foul or not, the point still stands. It was a dumb playoff move. It was a dumb basketball decision. It was not a smart decision. And the only thing I could think of is he was trying to get the and one to put the Spurs up 4 and seal the game. That's the only logical thing that I could think of, other than if he was too scared to shoot the free throws. But I don't think he would have been. That's the only thing I could think of. So my point is, it was a bad decision, and really, honestly, there's some decisions in basketball like where the refs shouldn't bail people out. That was dumb. It was just a dumb decision, and he didn't. I mean, he's going to have to live that down. Victor Wembanyama, loser. He had a good game, but he was trash talking, and I feel like his reputation a little bit has taken a hit in this finals. He was 9 of 25. Um, he settled for a couple threes, but like people kind of are viewing him more as a dirty player. I don't know if it's fair or not, but I just know that he does have uh he's developing that type of reputation, I should say. But more importantly, he missed those two big free throws. That's rough. And then finally, the last loser I'm going to give is the referees and anybody who watches the game as a neutral observer. I'm a neutral observer. I did pick the Spurs to win the finals, but the officiating has been so inconsistent and so bad that it's just sometimes hard to enjoy because like they kind of insert themselves into the game. And people like me and Clint has talked about this before, but like when you say let the players play, you're really saying let the players cheat. They're breaking the rules, but because they're always breaking the rules, the refs get to decide when to blow the whistle. It's that simple. So they get to decide what's a foul and what's not, even though it's all is a foul, and you can't argue it. And in the first quarter, we saw that. Like the two Towns fouls were, I just thought, soft. You could say, yeah, they were both fouls, but they were just soft in comparison to what the rest of the series, the vibes we've been getting from the rest of the series. Fox jumps into him. Is that technically a foul? Sure. But we've seen Brunson do the same to Castle. Castle not get called for it all the time. And that's fine. I'm okay with that, but it just got to be consistent. The hook on the arm, it was a hook. It was a quick hook. It was a hook. But didn't Wembanyama like reach in first? Are we not counting that part? And Wembanyama blocked it anyway. Like I would have took the foul away from Wembanyama, but I would have probably, like a friend told me, DJ, he said like just out of bounds Knicks ball because it got blocked out of bounds. That's all you need to do. No foul, block, out of bounds Knicks ball because they both followed each other. It's like, why are we not, whatever, it doesn't matter. On top of it, you missed two obvious goaltends. There was a Spurs out of bounds that was clearly off of Wembanyama. They gave it to the Spurs. It was just stuff like that. That was super annoying. The two fouls on Cat, you got to understand what that does. And I think why the Spurs just rolled, because it set a bad tone for the first half. When you've watched a series, the Knicks, first quarter kind of start with running the offense through Karl-Anthony Towns. And you took that away in the minute of the game. A minute into the game that was taken away from them. On top of that, the other players on the team are going to be apprehensive of playing hard as well because they can't afford to get into foul trouble. So it just sets a bad tone, and then you're playing guys like Jeremy Sohan, and who's the third string center there for the Knicks that got to play that I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but the third string center went out there and, what did he do? So anyway, that is whatever. I thought it was also strange too, fourth quarter, about 7 minutes ago, roughly, the Spurs are in the bonus and the Spurs are in the bonus and the Spurs don't have a foul called against them. Just like, that's so crazy. How do you not have one foul called against you? They're following every play. Again, that it's fine, but you're not letting the Knicks do it. It's weird. Anyway, so that was frustrating loss. So the losers, the Knicks in the NBA. It's like, get it together, NBA. This is not what we want to watch as fans. Okay, that's all I got for the Game 4 of the Finals. Congratulations for Knicks fans. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of Game 4. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And then if you're listening on the podcast, we're going to recap Games 1 through 3. And then we're going to go into some more NBA X interviews. So thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.